chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
Let's own it. Let's own it. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime?
Know,
Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
He's number one right now. Number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline.
Floyd Mayweather has finally broken his silence about a potential comeback in 2026. He confirmed that his immediate focus this year will be the much-hyped exhibition bout against Mike Tyson. However, Floyd clarified that the Tyson fight is purely for entertainment and will not be a professional contest. What truly raised eyebrows was his revelation that once the Tyson event is done, he is preparing for a real return to professional boxing, possibly against Terence Crawford. Mayweather stated that discussions are already underway for a sanctioned fight, emphasizing that both he and his team are working relentlessly to make this return official.
Everything is going great. I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
Whenever dream fights are mentioned in boxing, Floyd Mayweather's name inevitably surfaces. Even in retirement, his aura looms large over the sport, and debates about how he would fare against today's champions never fade away. Recently, Robert Garcia addressed the fantasy matchup between Mayweather and Crawford with refreshing honesty. Garcia acknowledged Floyd's unmatched success but highlighted that Crawford and Manny Pacquiao achieved something Floyd never did, becoming undisputed champions. Still, Garcia admitted that because of Mayweather's genius, composure, and aura, he would personally favor Floyd to win if such a fantasy showdown ever happened.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions, undisputed. Is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. There's still greats out there. There's still, his era or last era, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, already accomplished more than Pacquiao was 8 divisions, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Robert Garcia further stressed the difference in accomplishments. He pointed out that Crawford unified every single belt in a division, something Mayweather never accomplished. Manny Pacquiao too earned undisputed recognition across multiple weight classes. Garcia explained that while Mayweather retired undefeated and delivered legendary performances, his resume lacks that undisputed title. Yet, he was quick to say this doesn't take away from Floyd's greatness. Instead, it proves why Crawford deserves his place in discussions as one of the most complete fighters ever. Despite praising Crawford's resume, Garcia leaned on his experience in boxing to argue that Floyd's timing, defense, and ring IQ were simply on another level, which is why he'd pick Mayweather in a head-to-head clash.
To pick Mayweather, both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. That's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. All these new things going on. I think it's going to be a...
Adado brought up a fascinating perspective, dividing Floyd's career into 2 iconic eras. First, there was Pretty Boy Floyd, a young, fearless destroyer who overwhelmed opponents with speed, aggression, and sharp combinations. Then came Money Mayweather, the ultimate businessman who mastered defense, controlled the ring, and built boxing's most profitable empire. According to Adado, Floyd didn't just craft his style but also his image. Pretty Boy Floyd earned respect with risk-taking and knockouts, while Money Mayweather captivated audiences with mind games, defensive brilliance, and global spectacles. Together, these two personas elevated Floyd beyond just a fighter. He became an architect of modern boxing's business model.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s, and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes, and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, all right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fight, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was, look, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Former world champion Zab Judah, who once shared the ring with Floyd, gave his crown to Terence Crawford as the king of today's generation. Judah noted that every era has its superstar, and right now, Crawford is the man carrying that torch. He reminded fans that even Canelo Alvarez once suggested Crawford might be better than Mayweather, and those words carry real weight. Judah praised Crawford's dominance across multiple divisions and pointed out that nobody has been able to solve his style. While respecting Floyd's legendary legacy, Judah insisted that the current moment belongs to Crawford, and he should be celebrated as the #1 fighter of this era.
#1, this is his generation, this is his timeline, he is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You'd like to see a rematch?
Not very nice. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah.
I think so.
Trainer Breadman Edwards offered a different take, completely dismissing the idea of Mayweather versus Crawford. He argued that this fantasy matchup is unnecessary and unfair to Crawford, who should be celebrated for his accomplishments without being tied to comparisons with legends of the past. Edwards suggested that if Floyd truly wanted a spectacle, a fight with Roy Jones Jr. would make more sense because of the history and fan interest. For Edwards, Crawford deserves to stand alone in his prime, not dragged into hypothetical debates. He insisted that boxing should stop chasing fantasy fights and instead let Crawford be recognized as the symbol of greatness in his own time.
Never gonna get this fight, unfortunately. Just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win, but if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as yeah, that's 50-50, man, I don't know? Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, and I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, and make up something just to, I got my opinion on, how the fights will go, and, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. and I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. And, you know, unfortunately, they didn't fight. You know, they could have made, they kind of two different eras, though, even though they was fighting at the same time. Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter gave his thoughts on the shocking Mayweather versus Tyson announcement. He described it as more of a street fight than an official boxing contest. Porter revealed that there's long-standing resentment between Floyd and Mike, which could make things personal inside the ring. Because of this, he doubted boxing authorities would ever sanction it officially. Porter warned that while the fight might generate headlines, it risks crossing boundaries that could damage the sport's integrity. He also criticized the trend of exhibitions featuring legends like Floyd, Tyson, and even Jake Paul, arguing that these spectacles prioritize attention over true boxing competition.
Don't see this one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in-the-ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? You know, obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, you know, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show, we already know, like, we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable. But it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring, you know? It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
Falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced, so.
Many analysts echoed this concern, saying that fans don't even fully enjoy Jake Paul's exhibitions. They questioned why boxing keeps leaning on retired legends instead of building today's stars into household names. To them, this over-reliance on nostalgia signals weakness in the sport, creating the risk that boxing drifts away from its roots of authentic competition.
No, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta is a sitting champion. At least these two are retired, but this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that, it is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this, and Jake and Gervonta, is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that. Because, yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not to engage with him. But Jake, not engaging with him, just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight because clearly Mike is not the same. And clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put it.
Joe Rogan offered a different spin, focusing on the personal rivalry between Floyd and Tyson. He revealed that Floyd has disliked Mike since the early days, and that hostility could fuel the fight. Rogan speculated that Floyd might even abandon his usual cautious style and go for a knockout, simply to settle the grudge once and for all. While Floyd hasn't chased knockouts late in his career, Rogan argued that raw emotions can change everything, making this potential fight unusually intriguing even if it remains unlikely.
So they're not trying to knock each other out?
No, well, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather?
Yes.
But they like
Mike Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect. Yeah. They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah. Working.
I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements. Really? If there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really, could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still. At 50 years old, he's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
Old as fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins was
49.
still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though. With this. Because he was active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's got Gomez on the ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Fighting the
That's
exhibition.
so
It's just
weird.
money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird,
Yeah, it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's, you know, but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis.
There's a reason it says exhibitions.
If I had a guess. The event itself will be a world-class venue and be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course.
But of course.
Because they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who wants to fight an alligator?
Ariel Helwani wrapped up with a realistic breakdown. He explained that insiders view Mayweather versus Tyson as nothing more than an exhibition for money and entertainment. However, Helwani suggested that this spectacle could simply be a warm-up for Mayweather's Real comeback fight against Terence Crawford. By calling the Tyson bout a sideshow, he redirected attention to the genuine possibility of Floyd returning to sanctioned competition. In his words, the exhibition is a smokescreen, while the Crawford fight is the true prize being negotiated.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's interest in it.
Does it happen, GC?
No.
No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
White House
Mayweather
card seems to be happening. I got to eat my crow on that one. It's
Yeah.
tough. Tyson Floyd.
No chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early 50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't do
Against
it
the
anymore.
guy around his size, too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though.
Yeah, Roy fought at heavyweight at
Yeah,
one time.
Yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. Was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but we were still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic. It was Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean?
Two of the greatest boxers ever to fight each other.
Just I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same vast reach that
was a
Jake
big
Paul
deal.
versus.
That concludes today's breakdown. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing saga.